Okay, so you've signed up for the Olympic distance, or you're considering it and you're watching this video, which is awesome. We really appreciate the viewership. The Olympic distance is going to start at 8:30 in the morning on June 23rd, just like all the other two races. It's going to be a swim, bike, and run, as always, we hope, right? There's going to be a race meeting at 8:15 in the morning, mandatory for everybody down on the beach, all right? Now, like I said, transition is a little bit funky, so let's dedicate some time to that. Transition area is going to open for everybody, whether you're in the half, the Olympic, or the sprint. Everyone's available to go into the transition area at 5:30 in the morning. All right, now that's kind of early if you're going to be racing at 8:30, so unless you have friends or family who are also racing the half that you want to be there to support, I don't recommend getting there at 5:30 in the morning because 3 hours is a little bit excessive to be standing around waiting. It might be a little bit chilly, so you probably get there around an hour and a half before the race starts, which would put you at 7 a.m. Okay? So how transition area is going to work? There's going to be designated racks for each distance. So the half will have a specific section, the Olympic will have a specific section, and the sprint will have a specific section. Now you'll know all of this going in, so you'll be able to see where your bike is. Make sure that you're comfortable with that, so when you're running in out of the swim, you find your bike quickly and you're not confused by all of the bikes there. Just like a bigger race, there's going to be a lot of bikes in it, but it's okay. Now, the transition area is going to close for the specific athletes that are starting 20 minutes prior to their race. So that's kind of confusing. For the 7 a.m. start, the half distance, the transition area will close at 6:40 in the morning, but only for the half athletes. Because the race starts at 8:30 for you guys for the Olympic distance, your transition area will close at 8:10. Now, for people who are experienced with triathlon, you know that there's typically an in and an out, and that's it. White Mountains has decided to add an entrance, all right? So there'll be a swim in, bike out, bike in, run out section with timing mats. That's not going to be where you're going to go in and out of the transition area. I'm going to put a little graphic up. It's not going to be exact, but at least you'll be able to get an idea of what we're looking at here. Because there'll be an entrance and an exit for athletes who aren't competing right then and there. So for the people who are getting there at 7 a.m. or a little bit before that, because they're racing the Olympic distance, the half athletes won't be in the transition area because they'll be at the beach in their meeting getting ready to go. So you'll still be able to go in and out of the transition area, have your chip on, and not be disrupting any timing mats because there'll be a separate entrance and exit for you. This seems a little crazy having been in a lot of different transition areas, but once you think about it, because there's 3 different races going on, it actually is going to make for a better athlete experience and a smoother day on the whole. We don't have to put together 3 completely separate transition areas. That would just be crazy. But we also don't want to have people just going in and out of the swim in area when people are running, getting their wetsuits off in a hurry, trying to get to their bike as quickly as possible, which is why there's that separate area as well. Okay? So to kind of boil that down, 3 different bike rack sections for each discipline, for each distance, excuse me, and an in and out section that will be for people going in and out setting up, and then different in and outs for when you're actually going in and out, swimming in, biking up, etc. Okay? So for the Olympic distance, make sure that you get there in time so that when 8:10 comes around and your transition area closes, you're ready to be already on the beach, ready to listen to the meeting and get going for the race. All right? So 8:10 transition area closes for the Olympic distance, and 8:30 a.m. you start your race. 8:15 is your briefing. Okay?